The New Order functionality is a multi-step process. We start with specifying things like the ad type. So is it a display ad or is it a text ad? We need to specify whether the ad is a single ad or a double ad. Single being only a single slot, double being a double slot. Of course, if we specify text, then we can only have a single ad. Now we need to specify what our rotation type is. We can have no rotation. We can rotate weekly. We can rotate monthly. Or we can rotate by a specific date. Of course, if we're going to rotate, then we need to have more than one ad. For our example, we will go with no rotation and just one ad. If you are like most publishers or salespeople, 95% of your orders will be this way. On the next step, we need to classify our order. Classifications are defined by each publisher and generally run the gamut between full revenue, fillers, on down to client bonuses. Category groups and categories are defined by your production center. Our advertiser is looking for the accommodations category, but we have no additions with the accommodations category available. So we can take a look and see what ads are utilizing the accommodations category. And we can see that they all have an end date of continuous, meaning they're going to go on forever unless canceled. So we need to suggest a category. Our advertiser actually wants to have accommodations for rent. So we will suggest a rental category to the production center. Our submission is likely to be rejected because if we had actually searched on rent, we would have seen that there actually was a category apartments for rent. So let's use that. And sure enough, all of our additions are available, so we'll choose the two in Garden Valley. Now we need to schedule our order. So let's pick a date and also a plan. Plans are defined by the publisher. We can instantly quote what the investment is for this plan. Now we will specify any applicable discounts. Discounts are defined by the publisher. Discounts can be defined as such that once one is applied, the other ones are ineligible. A publisher might also allow for a discretionary discount, but a reason needs to be specified. Along the right-hand side, we get an accounting of what the discount entails. Preferred placement allows us to monetize the placement of an ad in a particular slot or range of slots. We need to expressly specify that we want a preferred placement option. We can choose from a selection of named slot ranges. Or we can select a single slot. We can also specify a discount. And we get an accounting of what the total fee will be. In our case, though, we're going to ignore preferred placement. Now we move on to advertiser details. First, the name. Let's see if it's an existing advertiser. We do this by typing in the first three characters. If this is an existing advertiser, all our fields will be auto-populated. Our next step is the advertiser address, and again, this will be auto-populated if it's an existing advertiser. Next is the contact name. Please make very sure that the email address is accurate, otherwise this will compromise your ability to send a confirmation later. And the last piece of detail regarding the advertiser is the contact phone. Features are upsell offers provided by a publisher, typically related to non-publishing aspects. In this case, the advertiser has elected to go with our website package. We can choose to discount the feature. In this case, we're going to add a discretionary discount, which is in fact the only discount that can be offered in this case. We are now presented with the payment terms. We can specify some payment options. Full payments, the most common. 2 payments is also an option, as well as 4 quarterly payments. Now we move on to payment information. First, we need to deal with the initial payment. There's various payment methods that a publisher can choose to offer. In our case, we're just going to use e-transfer for $300. This leaves us with a balance of under $100, so we'll add another payment type. Many payment methods can be specified. And we'll go with a check. Now that we're finished with initial payment, we move on to the balance payment details. We are presented with a schedule of when the next quarterly payments need to be made, and these can be adjusted. We specify a payment method. We now move on to the optional step of adding a lead source. And a sales assist. Now we can give our order a name. The order name defaults to the advertiser name. However, it's a good practice to give the order a distinct name. Now we move on to design information. There are 3 distinct design options. The most common one is for a specified designer to do the artwork. A second option is to defer the artwork request until the advertiser has provided images and logos and other artwork. A third option is to use existing artwork from a previous or current order. We will go with the most common option for this order. We need to explain to the designer what needs to be accomplished. If we have multiple designers, we need to choose one. Since we've elected to do the design work right now, obviously we have some assets to upload. For our first asset, we click on the Browse button and select the file we want to upload. We need to also provide some information on the file for the designer. Next, we click Upload and the file gets uploaded. If we have additional files, we click on the Add icon and do the same for our next files. Now we move on to our last step. Now we have the option of just clicking on Finished or sending a confirmation email to the advertiser. The confirmation email will be sent to the contact who is specified on the contact name step. This is why it's very important that the email address is accurate. The email is formatted as per the publisher's preferences. However, the salesperson can change any part of the email they would like. Now we just need to click on Finished and we're done.